I met a traveler from an antique land who said, "Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies whose frown and wrinkled lip in sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed, and on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains round the decay of that colossal wreck. Boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away." The man who wrote that poem, Percy Shelley, was an atheist. He died in 1822, nearly 200 years ago. He was not yet 30. He lived as good of a life as anyone back then could probably hope for. But he lived in the early 1800s. The germ theory of medicine wasn't yet widespread. There was no electricity. There was no radio. There was no technology. There were no phones. There was no internet. There was no television. There was no world that you know. There was no automobiles. There were no airplanes. There were no skyscrapers. Ozymandias, that poem, is a poem of nihilism. That no matter how great your fame, no matter how mighty your works, no matter what you build, no matter what you destroy, no matter who sings your name, ultimately you will be forgotten, and you will be washed away by the sands of time, and your life is ultimately meaningless. Percy Shelley was an atheist, and yet this is a favorite theme of the Christian apologetic of the modern day. There is no meaning that is not ultimate meaning. There is no anything that is not decided by God. If you do not lay down your life and live in God's ways so that you may live forever, you should despair. Why don't I just, as an atheist, as a peasant, as a plebeian of society, as a nobody, not famous nor rich, why don't I just go out and rape and kill and steal? It's all meaningless. Nothing matters. Why don't I just kill myself? What a morbid thought. I live at this moment in the year 2014. I live in what used to be a barren swamp, uninhabitable by man, South Florida. I live in a home that is air-conditioned. I have my own doctor who will treat me and heal me if I am sick. I have a bed that is made of finely manufactured materials and springs. I have a television that shows me entertainment whenever I want. I have the knowledge of the entire human race on a small pallet that fits in my lap. I have flown At 422 miles per hour over the horizon, 33,000 feet in the air, a feat reserved for gods, and yet is undertaken by hundreds of thousands of people every single year across the entire world, flying in an airplane. I live as a simple plebeian of society with the luxury not known by 1,000 kings over the millennia before me. And the reason why I have these things is because many a man before me did not take up his lot in life, which is to choose between prayer and despair, and instead sought his birthright as a human being to unlock the secrets of the world, to harness the power of nature, and to usurp God from his very throne. That could be an inflammatory statement, right? Blasphemy. But ask yourself this: is there a God? Whenever there's a moment in your life, even if you are a Christian, where God is not immediately on your mind, but joy and happiness and worth and value and wealth is in your heart, ask yourself, is that meaningless? Justice is not eternal. Meaning is not eternal. Righteousness and morality could just drift away at any given moment. A pulsar could inject a giant beam of X-rays from another solar system that would blast the atmosphere off the face of this earth, and we would all die very quickly tomorrow. Does that mean your life is meaningless? And who says what meaning is? Who tells you what to love? Who tells you how to live? Does it matter? Don't you choose how to live, how to love, how to discern meaning? You could always just despair instead. You could always pray instead. Or you could live instead.